Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome back to Waffles RC. It is still very hot out, and we are still going to keep working. We got the buggy working perfectly fine, but if you remember in the last video, for the few people that did watch, thank you to everybody who did, the Mercedes had a broken axle shaft. So we're going to fix that today. Luckily, quite a long time ago, I bought a spare set of portals that I've been using parts out of. Therefore, the AR44 style axles. They are not actual axial axles, but I have lots of spare parts, and in here are spare axle shafts and portals if we need it. So we're going to get started with that, do a few other fun things to the Mercedes. So let's get started right away. Okay, so here's the Mercedes, and if you guys remember, that doesn't really do anything. Take this apart, replace the axle shaft, and then move on to more fun things rather than maintenance. There we are. We now have a functional axle shaft. Got to use my fun jack stand again. And as you noticed in the time lapse, I just had to take apart the pivot that goes inside of here, because this piece in this portal is different than the one in this one. And I have found that other than variations in axle shaft length, these pivot balls are all pretty universal. So with this one was a bit shorter than the one that came out of here. So all I did was grind down the end that goes into there just enough so that it's fully engaged, but not all the way through and pushing too hard on the portal on the wheel. So now that that's all done, that is garbage. This I'm going to continue to save, and same with this and these pins. Always save these pins. So as you can see in my drawer of spare axle shafts and portal gears, I keep all of these pins because sometimes the pins themselves are the only thing that breaks. Definitely keep the pins because sometimes they are different lengths. This will all get put away back into the spare stuff. Now let's move on to the next modification for the Mercedes. Hey guys, just real quick, just to let you know, at the end of this video, I'm going to say stuff about setting up the membership, or the members only portion of the page, and I'm filming this preemptively that I was successful and that it is set up. So should be able to, down below, be able to join. I think there should be a button that says join. I don't know. Still trying to figure it all out too. So if you would like to join, set it at $2.99. I think so. It's $2.99 a month. Once again, it's going to help significantly with all these builds. That's better. And it'd be greatly appreciated. If you can't, that's fine. No worries at all. Just do whatever you can where you can. There should be, or there will be, one video on it of kind of behind the scenes. Did a lot of time lapse on this build that you're watching right now, and that's where that footage is. I won't do that all the time. Yeah, just because, you know, it's not fair. I'm not gonna do stuff like that, but I will do whatever I can to make the memberships worth it. So thank you. And that right there is how you make sure your car doesn't overheat when it's 105 degrees outside. My wife says it's trashy. I say it's smart thinking. Can't overheat if the hood's off. I've learned that lesson. Now back to the video. So the next upgrade that I got here for the Mercedes is, you probably guessed it, tow truck boom. That's right. We're gonna make the Mercedes a tow truck. Has a servo, has a winch cable. Don't know how good that servo is gonna be. I don't know how any of this is gonna really work. So I'm gonna get to work on doing this and see what I can do to make it work, because this is definitely not designed for this. So I have to figure stuff out and then cut a hole in the trunk to have the boom come out of it, because we got to keep the Mercedes body. That's like the signature of this whole RC. I guess you can't say it from that angle. There is our boom. Just took a piece of metal that I had in my scrap metal bin, which is down there, made the plate across here, bolted the boom to the plate, which is bolted to the frame that I drilled some holes. So that is plenty strong. Now the suspension, on the other hand, that's going to be a different story, but this is going to be more of a recovery vehicle than anything. So now I gotta figure out where to cut a hole in our lovely body to have this go through. Then I got to make a bumper of sorts or something for this piece right here to attach to give it that extra strength and one of the little D-rings that it came with. So sorry, let's get the body on here. Got the body on there and the boom is out of it. As you can see, just cut a hole through the trunk. You can still get to the body pins, and the body still comes off to be able to, you know, change the battery and stuff. That might change once I put another hole in for the winch line, which I got to figure that out. But next on the list will be this bracket right here. Gonna have to make some kind of bumper that connects up to this thing. So let me figure that out. And there's the other bar. I was gonna have it down here, but I couldn't find a good way to have it down here without having to remove this very classy bumper, and I wanted to keep the classiness of the Mercedes. So still have our factory bumper, and what I've done now is mounted it up here. I just used some body posts that I had laying around, drilled them down on to the plate down there. You'll see it once I take the body off, but essentially by putting it right here, it looks really cool. Also makes it impossible to take the body back off. So, you know, priorities. I can, though, still lift it up enough to get the battery in and out, and that's the main concern. Need to be able to get the battery in and out. So now we've got to mount the winch and run a line up through here and down to somewhere. So I'll figure that out. And there we are. Got all of this on now. Had to space up the servo because where they wanted it mounted got in the way of the back bumper or the back area, and I refused to cut the Mercedes symbol out. So I just lifted the servo up so that way I wouldn't have to lose that. But I did have to cut a big hole in the trunk so that way this winch can come out of here in this bar. But by doing that, I can now get the body off. I mean, it's not exactly smooth, but I can take the body off quicker now to get to the battery without having to undo a bunch of stuff. So, safety. So now I'm going to wire this servo up to our receiver, zip tie it up out of the way, obviously, and then test it and wind up the cable so we can get this all running. And there we have a Mercedes 300 SEL tow truck. Got the winch all spooled up. I also put the D-rings down here on the frame. So to keep tension on this thing, my want for fun weird stuff here has worked out perfectly, because now I can't take the body off, and if I let the tension up on this, the spool will just go loose. So that's a win. So now that we have our tow truck, what else do you think this needs? Being a Mercedes SEL tow truck, off-road recovery vehicle, what else does it need? You're correct. Roof rack. And there's the roof rack. It's a bit big for the car, but I think it fits it pretty well. I took it off of the Bronco because that was too top heavy and was flipping over now that I made it so fast. So took the roof rack off of that. So might as well use that. Once again, saving money by not buying new parts when I had this off. So I'm going to mount this, and then I'm also going to look for anything else that I have in all my parts drawers to see what else funny we can put on this thing. Okay, here is the roof rack. It already had a shovel on it, so hold on. Loop-de-loop. Yes, it is a bit big, but I think it fits this thing quite well, or well enough since I already had it, so that means essentially free. Got a shovel on there because it was already on there. I also found this back bumper for something. I honestly don't remember what it's for, but I have it, and it didn't fit anything that I was building, but it fits just perfectly here, and now I have a spot to put this instead of wrapping it under the body. There is our, as of so far, our Mercedes recovery vehicle. This thing is so cool. Alright, so a few more things that I want to do to it. I need more stuff to put in here to make it heavier, because I know that's what a lot of people are going to say, so let's just make it heavier. Need to adjust the rear coilovers for the extra weight that is now back here, not up there. I have some trimming to do up there, but this little thing is coming along pretty nicely. I do want to put some gas cans or something back here, just kind of cover this up, but have it sit here, make it look a little bit nicer. Still need the turbos. Gotta cover up those holes. And I need to find a light bar that'll fit this thing. Yeah. Oh, I forgot. Two very important things that I wanted to do to this as well. Stacks. We're gonna put stacks on it because why not? Okay, a couple things I just realized. One, don't think this thing is gonna look good with stacks, especially if I put turbos on the hood. Two, can't really put a snorkel on it with turbos on the hood, because remember, we're all about scale here at Waffles RC. So for right now, this thing is going to be where it's at until I get some stuff to put in here, some gas cans or something to put, you know, back here on this thing. But tell me what you guys think of it so far. What else should we do to it other than the turbos and stuff? Don't want to go too crazy, but at the same time, I really want to go crazy. That's it for this one. Got it fixed, got it customized, quite happy. So on the build it yourself X-Maxx, got tires. They are quite expensive. They are from Traxxas. I also, this thing is so heavy. I also made a plate right here for the ESC to stick to, where it's all out of the way and secure. So did a few more steps on this one. Still not quite there with it yet. Still have quite a number of, oh, I have it upside down. Thought I bent the axle. Still have quite a bit more to do with this thing. I will do a dedicated video of when I take it all apart, and I'll put links for all the parts for this thing. And I still need to put oil in the shocks, which will be the first time I've ever done that. Also wanted to say a massive thank you to everybody who has contributed to the tip top jar. I really appreciate it. Some of you guys go above and beyond, but every little bit helps. It keeps these projects going. So if you want to also contribute, you can go to tiptopjar/wafflesrc. I'll put the link right here. It'll also be in the description. Working on the members only and still trying to figure out a good time to do a live stream, just a Q&A, see how many people are into that. So from Waffles RC, just want to say thank you all very much, and we will see you on the next one.